picturing it. I just, What do you think?
Bunch of question marks. That's what I think.
Yeah. I wonder what they're like. Like, Terrence Howard described them as being amazing. Like, he was like, oh, it was great having a love scene with Oprah. She's very voluptuous. That was Terrence Howard's word that he invented, not mine, mispronounced. He described her as being very voluptuous and said it was really awesome to do the love scene with Oprah because she had enormo cans. So, I don't know. They might be better than we think. I mean, look, Oprah has...
I think she has people holding them up for her.
Yeah. Everybody get under the left one.
You give me
You're
support.
all going to be holding them up and getting back problems. Yeah. I mean, she has every resource in the world, and her face looks freakishly good. She has been she gets that good plastic surgery. Like, she's never looked like a burn victim. You could never tell what's going on. Yet, she seems frozen in time. Her face looks exactly like it did in 1985. And I don't think that's just good genetics. So I would imagine there's a similar nipping and tucking, or in the case of her ginormous cans, lifting and hoisting. Some people have a breast lift. Oprah would have a breast hoist. I would imagine there's similar lifting and hoisting going on underneath her undergarments. And I would imagine that Oprah, despite her yo-yoing weight over the years, probably has a surprisingly rockin' bod for someone of her age because she can afford to buy one. What do you suppose? Are we all done picturing Oprah naked? Tell you one thing, not very hungry for the corporate lunch I've got later.
Yeah.
Have you seen like Oprah, like such a money grab, right? Oprah's doing these live events. I don't know who she's doing them with, but Oprah's doing these live events. And I'm not entirely sure. Oh, good. Yeah, I forgot to turn the ringer off on my phone, being the consummate professional that I am. She's doing these live events, and I guess it's kind of like motivational speaking. It's her and some other folks, and I think
is it like the casters
with Oprah, or
is
something?
It the people that she created, like who's a Dr. Phil and all those characters?
All I know, stuff like that, I think. But all I know is that Oprah is kind of sort of like whoring out live events, and the tickets are incredibly expensive, like incredibly expensive. That said, you do get a lunch with it, but you have to buy it. You have to buy the lunch afterwards. Like, it doesn't come in the price of your ticket. And apparently, the lunch that you get at Oprah's live event is like $18 or something like that, and it's half a sandwich and some chips. And Stern was talking about it not so long ago. Other radio folks won't admit that they listen to Stern. We pray at the altar of Stern. He's the greatest. There's no one more entertaining to listen to, and I've grown up with him in my life, so I'm just getting that out there now. But Stern was talking about it a little while ago. He's like, yeah, there's only half a sandwich because Oprah ate the rest of them. Okay. Continue, please.
Kate Hudson split with Muse frontman Matt Bellamy and is now dating... She's already dating? Dancing with the Stars pro Derek Huff.
Huff, yeah, I think that's how you pronounce it. Yep. Let's just say that again so you can get the full effect. Kate Hudson split with Muse frontman Matt Bellamy and is now dating Dancing with the Stars pro Derek Huff. In a related story, that sentence just replaced a billion doves eating marshmallows in a blizzard as the single whitest thing on Earth. Go on.
An email hacked from Sony Pictures calls Angelina Jolie a, quote, minimally talented spoiled brat, unquote.
Interesting. When did Jennifer Aniston start working for Sony?
And why is it so cold in the studio?
Let's bring it on home.
A 17-year-old girl won the Nobel Peace Prize.
Oh, that's good for her. When I was 17, I think I was drinking cheap beer under a bridge, so I can totally relate. No, I think when I was 17, I was perfecting... Well, no. When I was 17, I was perfecting my stage dive. That was like my main concern. It's just like, how can I... Like, I remember being in a band and, like, had a couple magical moments where the crowd picked me up and like, I sort of walked across the crowd, and I was like, that was cool. How can I make that happen every time? And here's the thing. Either the audience is going to do that, or they're not going to do that, and you can't force it. You can't be like, because, like, if you sell it, if you go, oh, here I come, I'm about to, no, they have to want it, and they have to drag you out there. And when you kind of, like, try and do a Jesus walking on water thing with a bunch of fans that are not adoring, as opposed to the crowd you played to the night before in a different town who were adoring, yeah, when you try and take a step on the hands of unadoring fans, whoops, splat, not cool at all. Go on.
A travel survey finds that rear seat kickers, did we talk about this one already?
Yeah. They're more annoying than the inattentive parents. And like I said before, not as bad as angry guy in turban or surreptitious overweight masturbator. Go on.
A new robot can sweep, vacuum, and load dishwashers.
Yeah. If it can hoard Bed Bath & Beyond coupons and nag you, men will no longer need to get married. Well,
and it's got to be able to make a sandwich, too.
Yeah, and let's be real here. It's not going to suck itself. Go on.
Not yet, at least. Maybe version 3.
Yeah, maybe 3.0. We can evolve.
A new blood test.
Check this out. Man, 3.0. Has all sorts of improvements. Better immune system. Taller, stronger, genetically superior, and let's check out the nether regions. Sucks itself. Go on.
A new blood test can determine if you're depressed.
Right. For instance, if the blood is flowing from your wrists, you're depressed.
iHeartRadio puts the spotlight on Green Day. After some time off, Green Day made a major comeback with 2004's rock opera American Idiot. The album sold over 6 million copies and was adapted into a Broadway musical. Their next studio album, 2009's 21st Century Breakdown, was also a rock opera and hit #1 in the US, Europe, and the UK, making it Green Day's best charting album. At the end of 2012, Green Day released a trilogy of albums, Uno, Dos, and Tre, marking the official addition of Jason White to the band after touring with them since 1999. However, the third album's release was delayed due to Armstrong entering rehab for alcohol and prescription medication. When Armstrong completed rehab, the band toured throughout 2013 to support the 3 albums. They also released a compilation of demos from Uno, Dos, and Tre in 2014 under the title Demolicious. All things Green Day, info, music, and more are on iHeartRadio, keyword Green Day.
iHeartRadio goes one-on-one with Brandon and Tyler from Neon Trees, talking about getting comfortable with the labels and questions people had about the band.
We never set out to ever proclaim anything or talk about these things. There was even the point where it's like, man, if someone asks, again, if we're a Mormon band, I'm going to go crazy. Or if they ask, where'd you get the name? Or it's the same old thing, where I think it was everyone else coming to us saying, hey, I'm curious. You guys are a different band. And so it was just us being polite and saying, well, yeah, we'll explain that to you.
You do worry about like identity and how people will perceive you, but I think we're more confident, and I think we're all a little older, and we all have a lot of security in our own lives, so we're in a good place.
Keep listening to iHeartRadio for more of your favorite artists.
Delivering fascinating subjects, interesting talk, and boobs and fart jokes. AD on iHeartRadio.
Yeah, oh, let's go. Talking that mess, better act like you know. Oh, let's go tonight. Walk away, punk, yeah, bitch. That's right, I know this. You're nothing but a punk, bitch. You're nothing but a punk, bitch. So walk away, yeah.
To answer the question you asked earlier, Funkhauser, yes, Neon Trees are in fact a band of Mormons. They're a Mormon band. I've actually talked to them about this numerous times. Was that news to you when you heard the little iHeartRadio bit on them?
I did not know that. I just heard it about a minute ago. Yeah.
And you know, it's interesting. They were kind of helped to find their way in this world when they were taken on tour by the Killers. Like the Killers sort of came across them and took them on tour. The Killers, also Mormons for the most part. And when I heard this, I was like, oh, I wonder if this is like, I wonder if Neon Trees got the Mormon helping hand from the Killers. And then I was like, Mormon helping hand sounds dirty. But it's not. But it sounds dirty, and that's the important part. Here's the thing. What's interesting was I actually talked to them about that, and they're like, no, actually the guy from the Killers who discovered us was their drummer, and he's the one guy in the band who's not Mormon. And we actually talked at length about being Mormon. I was like, so, like, you're not a religious band, and you don't make it the central theme of your music, but do you feel like being Mormon has helped you out? And they're like, well, yeah, because, we don't drink, and we don't take drugs, and we don't do a lot of things that a lot of other bands do, and that definitely gave us a bit more of a sense of purpose and helped us get where we were going faster. And I think they made reference to knowing other bands that they came up with that should have been huge, but kept getting in their own way through drugs and alcohol. And I was like, oh, it's very interesting. We have one last piece of news. Let's finish up the news. That last, it's just that last thing about Walgreens pulling the Hanukkah wrapping paper because customers saw swastikas in the design. Mm-hmm. Walgreens continue to deny that they knew about the swastika on the... Walgreens are continuing to deny that they knew about the swastika that was on their Hanukkah wrapping paper. They keep claiming that they did not see it. Should we get into what we consider to be the meat of the show? I think we should.
Yes.
It would seem to be pretty jarring to look out of your window on a lovely winter afternoon and see a fully naked man walking down the street fondling himself. Oh, by the way, Funkhauser, where do you think this story took place?
Florida.
Florida. Yep. And we continue now. And you can remain completely unsurprised. That's exactly what people in Stuart, Florida saw back around 1 p.m. on November 14th. A fully naked man walking down the street fondling himself. Guy's 21 years old. His name's Anthony Smith, and he was walking around his neighborhood naked, indulging in a little touchy selfie, a little self-pleasuring, a little wacky, which, by the way, you're supposed to do before you go to the office holiday party. That's according to an English psychologist. You're apparently, we talked about it on the show yesterday, supposed to indulge in some touchy selfies, so you are not motivated by your loins to make poor career choices at the company party. Just FYI. Maybe he was preparing for his company party. We don't know. We do know this, though. 21-year-old Anthony Smith walking around his neighborhood naked, whacking it. 2 people called the cops, as one might do in this situation. Well, I don't know. Maybe they're in Florida. Maybe they're like, oh, look. The 21-year-old is walking down the street whacking it. Must be a Tuesday. 2 people called the cops on him. They showed up. They caught Anthony in the act. He ran home, so they didn't really catch him, I guess. He ran home, got dressed, and came out to explain himself to the cops. It turns out that his mom wouldn't let him watch porn at home, and he found that walking around naked in public also turned him on. So he was arrested for exposure of sexual organs. That's a weird one. So if I'm to follow his logic, because his mom won't let him watch porn in the house, he also gets a similarly loin-inducing rush from walking around naked and whacking it in public. So it was either porn or fire off knuckle children in the street. Firing off knuckle children, that's my new favorite expression of the year. You gonna watch some porn? Nah. Gotta go fire some knuckle children off in the street. It's the stressful holiday season, and the holidays are stressful. Getting stressed out over the holidays, pretty much unavoidable. Especially if you got kids. Probably stressing about how you're going to fulfill all the wishes on the ungrateful little rat bastards holiday wish list. And that often induces holiday breakdowns. But here's the thing. To avoid the holiday breakdown, there's a couple things you can do. Don't overspend. Money is like the number one thing that stresses people out during the holidays and otherwise. The best way to avoid it, set a budget, stick to it. Also, Don't worry too much about traditions. Funkhauser, do you have any holiday traditions that you feel like you're forced to adhere to?
I don't think so anymore.